This tool is a gift from heaven. The best secret weapon to have in your garden that gives you the biggest bang for your buck. Watch how I take our seedlings and make 50 transplants in 15 minutes. It was actually less. The tool is actually called the bulb planter, but as soon as I seen this, I knew it was going to be the best tool I've come across in the longest time. It's like a soil hole puncher in a sense. It's quick to get in and out. The hole left is the exact same shape of a seedling in a party cup, so they slide right in and they fit like a plug. No mess. Absolutely no mess. It's also handy how it has measurements on the side to know the depths of the holes that are being made. Also, for whatever quick measurements you may need to rule out on the fly, such as the length of a tie or the width of a stalk. Overall, it's a great tool, outperformed what was initially expected. Secret weapon indeed. Well, we have to fill our pots first, so let's go ahead and do that. The soil you see me mixing here is composed of a mixture of reused soil and homemade compost. This compost was created by gathering materials from the beach, actually. The materials collected was from a pile consisting of seashells, driftwood, sea kelp, seaweed, sand, and probably some seabird guano. I've had this pile since last year, in which I've used strictly for composting my organic food scraps. For over 3 months now, I've been turning it every 4 to 5 days, maintaining a healthy moisture level, covering it up when times where the sun was too hot or before it rained. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video about making your own compost. I cannot stress how important it is to learn the skill of composting. The amount of bioactive soil that can be created and reused. Composting closes the loop of food waste, gives you a byproduct that feeds plants. Those plants feed you. When you think about that, then you quickly start to realize actually how valuable your food waste is. For example, if I weed or cut grass or clean up an area with lots of plants that need removing and those plants get tossed into the top of the compost pile, I simply wait until those become dead, decayed, and brown until I re-add more green material in the equal weights to those brown. Once I'm at this point, it's typically time to turn the pile, meaning I bring the bottom of the compost to the top by moving the soil. It's a workout, but you visually get to watch gold being made right in front of you. And when you see this stuff in action, it's exactly why I'm in this for the long run. This compost has worms everywhere in it. Even when mixing the soil, I'll occasionally find some. Knowing this and the health of my compost pile, I can rest assured knowing that the worms are thriving within the compost as I do add green and brown materials with occasional food scraps to feed the population. It's definitely not worm farming, but there is for sure lots of fresh worm castings in this compost, which in turn means the soil is continually getting inoculated cost-free and labor-free, to a degree. Bugs and microbes do the hard work. Just make sure you're paying them in quality organic matter. So why do all this work and what's the benefit? Aside what I've shown you already, it's that sweet carbon. Can we please take an organic moment to appreciate all this living soil? I mean, look at all this. I could use all the bins and still have the compost pile in the back to regenerate a new round of compost in the next few months. Truly beautiful what a team Mother Nature and the avid gardener are. You will pay way over $1,000 plus at the stores for this right here, but will only get half the bioactivity, and at that, the majority could potentially be anaerobic. When you make your own inputs, you become even more deeply rooted into your garden. There's a specific ratio of soil to compost in every pot. That ratio is 2/3 soil to 1/3 compost. The addition of seashells would add suffice amounts of calcium, 2 birds in 1 stone, so that gives us aeration as well. All-purpose and Power Bloom starts your foundation with a reserve of phosphorus in a sense. Worm castings for microbes, kelp meal for enzymes and hormones. As above, so below. Biochar is like another savings account in that bank that reserves all nutrients, not just phosphorus. Humic acids aid in nutrient uptake and availability. Mycorrhizae fungi attaches to plants' roots and become an extension of them. If I could, I would. Give yourself a big round of applause for making it this far in the video. I do hope to earn your time as this is the most valued currency to me at this time, and I hope to extend as much knowledge from my own experience into your own garden with the aim to work smarter and not harder towards a sustainable, organic lifestyle. When you go to transplant, you really want that soil to have moisture. Placing your seedlings into dry soil could potentially give your seedlings a shock. With the use of kelp and mycorrhizae, you could significantly decrease the shock that you might get when you transplant. Mycorrhizae fungi attaches itself to your plant's roots and becomes an extension of the roots. Root health is the real reason, aside humidity, some other factors that contribute to transplant shock and overall stress. In the holes, I'm going to add organic fertilizer that are going to contribute to overall health and vigor of these plants. This mycorrhizae is from Extreme Gardening, homemade horticulture charcoal or biochar. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video on how to make your own biochar. Humic acid, I'm using Basics. All-purpose 444, Gaia Green Organics. Power Bloom 284, Gaia Green Organics. Kelp Meal 102, Gaia Green Organics. And lastly, Worm Castings 200 by Gaia Green Organics. Once all your fertilizers in the holes, it's transplant time. Mind you, this could be done in 10 minutes easily if we didn't fertilize. From hole to transplant, all 50. Try it yourself. You'd probably do it faster than I did. Regardless, this was all a breeze, filling up the pots, fertilizing, transplanting. Stick with us to the end and we'll show you the actual speed of the bulb planter tool. Just witnessing the transplant here, you can get an idea of its speed. We had seen me doing with the one pot, I'm doing with all pots here. Fertilizing the same order I showed you, it's all layered in a way that benefit the plant. Remember, as above, so below. Well, that is a reference actually specifically to the worm castings that represent the above, kelp meal representing below. The worm castings contain microbes such as bacteria, nematodes, protozoa, and fungi, all that aid in the breakdown of your organic matter and that are converted by the microorganisms into plant-available food. This is also the case for homemade compost, which can be made to be even more so bioactive if you know what you're doing. You're probably thinking this is time-consuming and labor-intensive, and I promise you it isn't. Things like the bulb planter make gardening fun. If there's a way to shave hours off of anything, I'm in. I mean, look how fast this was. One person could transplant a whole greenhouse in hours because of a person that created a tool that made gardeners work smarter, not harder. Simple innovations at its finest. Could easily do this all day. Well, I do. Check it out. Talk about plug and play. Well, I can't thank you enough for watching my videos where I showcase the power of organics and an in-depth and personal experience with myself, Michael Angelo, and none of this would ever be possible without the support of our Facebook group and our deeply valued members within it. I'd like to give a special thanks to Paul Gonzalez, the brand manager at Gaia Green Organics, our perpetual engine that runs through our DNA, the Gaia Green Organics company itself, and our supporting members of Gaia Green Organic Growers on Facebook. I'm Michael Angelo. Thank you for exchanging your time for a bit of knowledge. If you have found this information useful at all in its utility, please give me a like. And if you're a gardener who would like to follow along or like to see how this garden escalates, please subscribe and click the notification bell to be the first to watch our part 5 of our Grow series. Thank you forever. And don't forget to grow it forward. Make sure to check out our earlier videos if you'd like to trail back or just in case you missed something.